we're back in the room for another show. It is Monday, September 2nd. Well, welcome to September. It's a brand new month and, of course, a brand new day. Like I said this morning, here is an opportunity to make things happen, right? Another chance to explore amazing opportunities. September definitely brings a sense of, renewal and all that good stuff. But anyways, it's also when our children head back to the classroom, and it's a new beginning for a lot of them. Well, basically all of them, because it's either they're going to new grades or I never realized that came up before. I've never seen that before. First time I've shared and I've seen it come up in the stream. Anyway, yeah, it's the first time for them into new grade, new schools, and I know they're super excited. I always look forward to this day because the timeline is just filled with beautiful pictures of your children's first day back to school. No time for negativity, just, beautiful pictures of them looking so sweet and smart in their school uniforms, neat and clean and crisp. Despite everything, you all really go hard and make sure that your children are able to attend the first day of school. Well, while that may be for some, there are some who still have a hard time getting to that point. And I've had a parent reach out to me, and I'm going to share it on my Facebook page today and see how I can, get some help and support for her. And she's not one of them who was gallivanting all over the place in all fete and all them things. She's somebody who really tries, but doesn't have that stable source of income to provide for her children, and don't have a father figure, to help with three beautiful children. And, we have the conversation time and time, and I hope that one day we can get to a place where we will become more responsible and start making better choices. Children are amazing, they're beautiful, they're all that, right? But a lot of the times folks tend to leave out the part which spells responsibility. And especially in today's time and world where everything is like so like super expensive. Sometimes you're by yourself, and I often ask myself, listen, I have 2, 3, 4, 5 children. And, going to the supermarket, and every time you go, it's like, but I bought this last week. It was this last week. And this week it's another, and I can't begin to imagine how they make it on a daily basis with 3, 4, 5 children. No father figure, no other source of help. And, having to put food on the table. It is tough for a lot of people, Some may not say much because they don't want people to talk and whatnot, but there are some people who are going through a tough time, and they put on a smile and pretend everything is okay, but that's not the true picture. Yeah, that's not the true representation. Now, talking about picture, remember last week we delved into the whole domestic violence, abuse of women, etc. And I did say this week I want to focus on that. And I have a guest. He'll be joining us shortly to speak to us on his role that he's playing in the fight against domestic violence and the awareness and all of that he's bringing to the forefront using a different sort of method. And he's going to share that with us shortly. But all for now, let me just take the opportunity to say good morning to everybody. Welcome back to the room. Of course, we're powered up by Western Union, and welcome to September. I hope it brings all your heart desires. Hope it will be a fulfilling one for you, and everyone will just, be safe and be blessed. Who's here? I know it's also Labor Day, so I'm not expecting the usual suspects. They're all juveing and having the time of their lives. I don't even miss it. I don't even feel any type of way. I guess as you get older, certain things you're not even... Because imagine I didn't even go to Grenada Juve, so I'm not going to feel any type of way with Juve in the U.S. because it's not the same. This long route, and then police on your tail, you have to move here, move there. I'm not about that life anymore, sorry. But I have one more thing to say. And for those of you here, please share the live. One more thing to say for the artist that's in New York. And those of you who've been, doing events and what have you for the past couple of days. Last year, I was really disappointed when only Jab King showed up on the Greens United truck. And like I said, everything doesn't have to be about money. It's a way of giving back because not like they're making anything from it. It's just put a truck on the parkway. These are people putting their hand in their own pockets to put a truck because that's what Labor Day is about, representing your country, representing your island. So you have the Haitian, the Bajan, the Jamaicans, the Trinis, and it'll be look a kind of way if there's no Grenadian truck on the parkway. Although I did hear Dave say that's his last year, but I pray that it's not. It still brings some sort of representation, you know? And we have the like of DJ Snappy and Short Leg and Black Storm and all the guys up there. And it would be nice if the many artists that's up there, you guys would make a pass and, you know, somebody give back. Because we support you guys. Throughout the season, we are the ones who turn up to your events. We are the ones who are there waving the flag and rooting for you. And that's a way of giving back. It'll take nothing from you to at least go on the truck and give a 2-song. And if you want to leave, you leave. But it'll take nothing away from you guys if you do that, all right? I saw Dash, Jab King is there, Laver is there, Black Adan is there, Boise, Terra the Governor, Natty and Thunder. Who else missing? I counted about 10 last week. Looney Spark and Electrify. Did I say Dash? Who else up there? A lot of them. You should be on your bed, Debbie Crony, because you've been on the road for the past 7 or 8 days. So you should be on your bed this morning. Who else is up there in terms of artists? I'm missing somebody. I saw Mr. Killer, Vaughn. Who else? Hits. There's a lot of them up there. So guys, you know, at least do a little give back. Yeah? You'll take nothing from you. Not everything is money. Sometimes you have to show your appreciation because we support you guys all year through, right? So if you have your artist friends and artist brothers and uncles and what have you, encourage them to go on the truck and, you know, give them guys a little thing on the road today. Please and thank you. All right, so who's here? Good morning, Tommy. Good morning, Marianne, Nikisha. Good morning, Irvin Loizan. Good morning, everyone except them Grenadians on the parkway. I mean, there's nothing to be salty about because that then nothing. Trust and believe. By 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, them street cleaners, street sweeper behind them sweeping up for them to hustle and move off the parkway. And by the time you come off, it's already starting to get cold. So, y'all are missing nothing. Morning, Janelle. Morning, Della. Morning, Crony. Morning, Valina. Judy, good morning. How are you today? Good morning, Kendra. Boise's also there. Superfly and Flynn there too. All right, well, they should have enough artists on the truck today. So I'm waiting anxiously to see Blacker than I said Blacker. I'm waiting anxiously to see who's gonna be on the truck and supporting the Greens United truck on the parkway today. So like I said, tag them and call them out and ask them to go on the truck. Yeah? Not everything you have to get paid for. You're already there. Not like how they're doing anything to talk about. So if you don't have any gigs or anything of the sort today, go on the truck and, you know, give them people a little thing, all right? Morning, Ingrid. Hey, Lydia, how you do? Galzy's a waste of time. Morning, Sonia. Morning, Janelle. And everybody that's here with me this morning. Where is Shantae this morning? Shantae get bright? She ain't show up and she ain't say nothing? Shantae in America too or what? Is Shantae performing or something? Yeah, do it for the culture. Don't make us look bad. Everybody on the parkway have some sort of representation today. Don't make us look bad. Please and thanks. Please and thank you. All right? I beg. So yeah, guys, so I'm gonna bring in my guest now, but before we do that, just wanna please ask you guys to share, hit at highlight and hit at followers and give other persons an opportunity to join us on the show. Why did this go off? To join us on the show today. Hold on, just as I'm about to bring in my artist, I lost connection on the stream. Just give me on the camera. Why did it go off? Hold on. Morning, Keziah. What's going on here? Why am I not seeing anything? It just went off. Just as I was about to yeah, come on. I don't know what happened. I'm not seeing the camera just went off, and I'm not seeing it. So no, just unplug it and hold on. Let me just refresh it first. Unplug it and okay, it's back. All right. I don't know why it went off, but he can come. Yeah. Make sure you're gonna fall there. Yeah, who miss it, they'll just they can just view it after. But for those of you already here, you can share it. Not too sure where. Somebody asked Shante what's her location this morning. Normally she will say when she can't be here, but I don't know what's going on with her this morning. She just decided not to show up for the job. Yeah, she just decided she ain't showing up on the job today, so we're gonna have to work with what we got. Anyways, we can't stick. We're gonna jump right on into it. And who else come? And let's say who here. Tell the others so they can join. Like I said, I know this morning is a crazy morning. Back to school, plus getting the children settled, plus, Labor Day, and folks are out juveing and having the time of their lives. But the show must go on, so that's what we're going to do. Anyways, we have Frenchie in the building. I swear I see about 3 or 4 different names for you. What name we working with? Christopher Williams. Then I saw, what's the other one? Roger. Frenchie. How much names you have? What's your government name?
Christopher Roger Williams.
Okay, that's a government name. All right, so let me work with Roger.
Yes, but that's
I know where you come out with this Christopher. Anyways, how you been? How are you? Welcome to the room.
great. I've been in and out and around. I was about to sing that song and I can't find my
Listen,
baby.
you're a man of many talents, I swear. Once upon a time you were a big artist, then you decided to step back and you're more into the creative arts and all of that, but you continue to make a difference, and that's what's important. It's a kangaroo's also his name.
Who said that already?
Lydia, good morning, Lydia James. It's my favorite French teacher. Good morning. Oh, that's why they call you Frenchie?
Oh, you got it.
You teach French?
Yes. Speak, teach. It's like my first language. Oh, that's a secret. Don't let nobody know.
Okay, so greet the room and introduce yourself in French.
Ah, oh là là, oh là là. Vous voyez ce qu'elle fait là, hein? Bonjour à tout le monde. Vous écoutez moi là, vous entendez ce que je dis? Bon, ça fait longtemps que j'ai passé à la radio, mais en tant qu'enseignant et artiste, moi, j'aimerais bien continuer à partager ce moment avec vous. Et voilà, who understands, type it in the chat.
Listen, I swear you sound better speaking French than English. You're right when you said that is your first language, for real. Is it difficult? Listen, I've tried doing a second language in school when they had the opportunity and you could drop a subject. That was the first thing I dropped with speed.
What?
It was just like...
But that's the sweetest. Easy.
Listen,
Easier than Spanish.
From young, I don't like nothing to stress me. And it started to stress me, and I'm like, anything that stresses me, even into my adult life, you have to go. I don't care what it is, boy, dog, cat, rat, you have to go. And Spanish started to stress me. And I'm like, okay, you need to go.
Oh my goodness, not French. I've held on to it. I love it.
How do you manage to get it right? That it was like confusing. I don't know which one was before one, and then you have to write it, and it's like a whole ball of confusion. How do you get it?
Yeah, it takes a lot of work, focus, because a lot of repetition, and then I listen to radio TV, you name it, anything. I read the newspapers. So I read everything in French. Everything in French. So it becomes part of you. So if I'm looking at television, that's it. I don't need interpreter, translation, nothing. It becomes part of you. So you immerse yourself into the process. Read, practice.
Wow. Well, maybe I'll take it up again, but all for now, I ain't want nothing stress me. But last week we, on the serious side of things, last week we started the conversation. It's something we always do, but whenever it comes up in the forefront, we tend to focus on it a little bit more. And you know how we can get as a people. We thrive on sensationalism and the now. As soon as okay, we move on. We just deal with it now, and then we move on. But domestic violence is not something that happens today and may not happen. It happens every day. And if you look at the stats, it shows that every day a woman, or sometimes, well, let me just put it across the board, but more women. Men are also victims of domestic violence, but women, according to the stats, are high up as compared. They're way more than as compared to men. So we don't want to make it seem as though only women are the ones who are victims of domestic violence. Men are also victims of domestic violence, but like I said, more women tend to be the victims. And we had a story that came to the forefront was somebody telling their story last week, and I saw you in the comments, adding your voice to it, and I was like, wow, no, perfect. I need to get you on, because a lot of the times we have these conversations, and it's like women speaking to women. And you ask, well, where are the men? Why aren't more men speaking to get more men to understand that, hey, this isn't something that you should be doing. This isn't a norm. It should not be acceptable, and it should not be something you teach your young, whether your children or your younger siblings or whatever the case might be. And you often have women always having the conversation. So I was really delighted to see you doing your part, and like I said, using a different style to bring the message across. And that's what we want to speak to you about today, and to get your take on it, and of course to enlighten people as to how they can reach out if they need help through other mediums. Because I've heard so many women, and when I tell you my inbox is filled on a daily basis with women coming forward to say, hey, I'm a victim, I've been also abused, and not just saying it, but sending me pictures of themselves in different situations. It really means we have a lot of work to do in educating and sensitizing people regarding domestic violence. And I thought what you were doing and the method you were choosing, it's a really, really nice way to get the word out for those who are suffering in silence, and to get the opportunity to speak. So with that being said, tell us a bit about your work and of course domestic violence and how you got involved.
Oh, great, wow. Let's go way back. I grew up seeing it. Imagine that. And I'm not young, eh?
No, I share the same story. I grew up in it, and so I am passionate about it. I saw it. I lived it.
Yeah, and it filled the village. In those days, you're seeing it all around, and it's like normal. All you saw ladies running and bawling and crying, and you wondered why that was really happening. But fast forward a bit. When I did my studies, I went to Jamaica to study, and I went to pursue drama in education. But because drama in education has a process that is so deep, it comes out as therapy. Yeah? But everybody was using it as comedy, kicks, laugh, putting on theatrical performances. But I saw something deeper in it. I felt that it gave you that sense of peace and healing. So I said, no, I need to invest some more in that and see what comes out of it. Yeah? And then when I did the research, I realized there was what you call the drama therapy. But they were more leaning on the side of clinical psychology and not delving deep into the expression. So I added that expression, using the arts, using drama, giving them that freedom to explore, discover, and create moments where they can release. And that is the important part, where you find a peace of mind where you can let go and say, I could breathe finally. So I went further into my master's and developed that program, what you call Drama for Peace. Because the persons, when I started my mini school, so I'm giving some synopsis here quickly, people came to classes and they wanted to act or perform, But when you delve deeper, you realize they wanted to get rid of a problem, an issue that was hiding, right? And so then I decided, no, they can't pay for the class, so I'm give them for free. But then I realized it's peace they wanted, a mental health challenge. They wanted to cleanse their mind. So everybody was asking for peace. I want to find peace. Why I can be in peace. I say, oh, you see? And so then I put this program together to help them to find that ease of access to what they are thinking of. Because I said, the peace didn't come just like that, but you have to go through a process. So I developed what you call mental peace. Mental peace.
Mental peace.
Mental peace. All right? And so mental peace, mental health, peace. So I put that together and I realized that it worked. I tried it for a number of years, over 7 years of research in silence, testing it to see how effective it would be. And I have helped a lot of persons. What we did is take them through a process, right? Deep diving, combining psychology, combining business development tools, and combining drama and the arts, and give them that moment to express. You create a safe space for expression. And when I say expression, there is no limit.
And I think that is one of the issues. A lot of people I've had that expressed to me about a safe place. A lot of people, they don't have a safe place or a safe space to go to. Hence, they stay in situations longer than they need to. Or they feel like, okay, I've had one said to me, listen, I called a particular police station, and at the end of the day, the person who I made the complaint on, the gentleman who I accused of, well, not accused, but made the report on for abuse and stuff, could tell me word for word what I said, what the report that I made, you know, and I don't feel safe. So there's no way I can go, because if that's the place I'm supposed to go to feel a sense of peace and safety, and I went there and this man could tell me what I said, and I look like I went to make a report on him, where else do I turn? You know, and I think this is where you come in, that because that is what, at the end of the day, if people find the courage to leave, that is what you seek.
Yes.
You seek some sort of mental health, mental wellness, because you could leave, but you're still dealing with all the flashbacks, all the turmoil of what you went through, and unless you deal and unless you heal, no matter where you go, there you are.
Still stuck in it. Yeah, you're still stuck in it. So you're right. And you just said it, because that's why I did it. And the experience you gave a while ago, I experienced it myself, because I'm a trained gender advocate with the UN Women.
Listen, you have so many titles in here. We need to use you more.
Right? So I'm not just doing like this. I am trained, right, as a gender advocate. Okay? And so I'm putting this work out to great. But I've put it out, but the challenge is acceptance. We're going to talk about that if you allow. But here's what. When I realized that the clients, the victims, the survivors were not getting a space to express themselves, and were not finding that peace and that security, I had to step in with my program. So if you can't get legal recourse or somebody to protect you, I would give you the tools to help you to stay alive or to cleanse that trauma that they are putting you through. And so that's how the mental peace came in. I said, well, if we can't find a solution from the legal side, I'm going to help you to mentally cleanse so that you would walk away, get away, or save yourself from being killed or hurt. And most of the persons I've dealt with are highly suicidal, depressed, people who stand in on the roof ready to jump and have to intervene and take them out of that situation.
Listen, I don't think people understand how much domestic violence affects you as a person. It makes you question your self-worth a lot.
Say it louder.
It makes you, okay, I'm no use, I'm just a punching bag. What's the point being? It really, really breaks you down. And it takes a lot to lift you out of that place. That is why what you're doing is so, so, so important, because we often speak on, okay, you need to leave, but we never speak on what happens after you get out of the situation. A lot of the times we don't focus on that, and we think, okay, the person just leave and everything goes back to normal, that you're just, okay, everything is hunky-dory, but that's not the case.
That's not, never
That
the
is
case.
why sometimes people go back to the situation, because they can't find peace outside of the situation. Am I already in it, so I might as well just, you know, whatever.
Let me stay there and dead. Man.
Yeah.
I may as well die.
I might as well.
And that's the reality. So don't take the person away without solving the problem. And that is our current situation in Grenada. We tend to just remove from the home, remove from the situation. But mentally, they are still breaking down. So you're going to a next relationship, a next house, a next home, and you're still going through the same problem. But you ain't really tackle the mental peace that person is asking for. How do I find peace? How do I love myself again and say to myself, I'm not going to accept these things without being violent? because there's a flip side to it. You get me? How do I stay away from the trauma? How do I heal from the trauma? So don't just take me away or take away that person or take away the child or whatever it is. Be careful, because you send them into further depression, and that's where the challenge is.
Now, I know there are lots of people listening right now and probably going through the same situation, probably still in the situation or probably left the situation. How does your program help people? Like, let's speak on the mental peace part of it and, dealing with the trauma and all of that. If time permits, we can go a little deeper. But for those who are either in it or left the situation and trying to come to terms with it or trying to find some sense of peace, how do you deal with it?
Okay, great. Mental peace has three basic, we call it stages. I would put it through like that, and I'll simplify it. So we get the persons to acknowledge what they're going through. So if you're listening, you have to first acknowledge what you are going through. Then but acknowledge has a number of levels, and then you have to accept. And accept has another set of levels, and then you have to act. So you notice that the 3 A's: you acknowledge, you accept, and you act.
Okay.
Some people never get to pass acknowledge. You see where we at now? So you're afraid, oh, well, maybe not me, maybe it's not him, maybe it's me.
The problem is me.
And then they
Maybe
stop.
if I didn't do this, he wouldn't do that.
Yes. So that's where you do a cleansing, an open analysis of yourself and the things that are happening without casting or laying any judgment on anyone. You want to see, visualize what is actually happening.
See for what it is and not what you want it to be.
Thank you. And that is where the challenge is. So most of the persons that we've helped is realize that they were stuck in that cycle. You reach to the end of it and then you go back, oh God, well, no. And then there's the desire, well, maybe I could change her or him if I stay a little longer.
Maybe if I did a little bit more of this, maybe if I was a little bit more of that, and you start trying to find all the excuses as to how you can make this person treat you better.
Yeah. But you're throwing away all your discoveries. So there's the sad part. Because when you do the honest acknowledgement of your issues, you see things that you wouldn't like. It's like, if I could say this, looking into the toilet after you get up. If you could do that, then you're ready to acknowledge things. Look back and see what's there. Right? And that's what most persons who you tend to see going on and on in that cycle are afraid to look at themselves and say, this is me, this is my challenge. Then you look at, this is my partner, this is the challenge. Or it doesn't have to be partner, mommy, daddy, uncle, whoever is bothering you. This is the challenge. And then they just take it, tear it up, and throw it. No, man, that can't be true. Maybe I could do something and change. So you have to acknowledge, you have to accept what is actually happening. And that's very difficult.
Acceptance.
Because the acceptance forces them to cast judgment. Well, no, man, they go right back again. I can't realize, no, that can't be me. That could never be him. That is not how I met him. No, So what happens? Down to depression again. So the cycle continues. So you never really get to create a plan.
So you acknowledge, but you don't accept.
Thank you.
So then you're stuck with the acknowledgement and you're not doing anything about the acknowledgement. You're not going to the next level. So what happens then?
Back to depression. You're trapped in a cycle because the flashes come back. You see the person, the flashes come back. You're reflecting, it's like Jesus. So there's no way out. So that means you have to go back to your therapist or the person assisting you. In my case, what we do, I have a very long dialogue with the person. Here, what I've discovered is that persons, they set 1 hour and a half. I have spoken with clients from like 11 in the night to 3 o'clock in the morning to solve the problem. And that's it. I've never seen them again. But when we see, it's like, oh, things good, man. How you doing? I was like, how business? How things fixed? Because the focus is on the person's healing and not a time set as to, okay, well, that's how much I make. No, nothing like that. So my approach
long as
is,
it takes.
yes. If you need 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, we're going to work together. But if the person can't do it, then you design a plan for them. So you work with the person. And mind you, it ain't easy because if I could say, the amount of cussing I get from my clients.
Cursing in terms of like not wanting to hear the truth or not want to accept what you...
Of course.
Or the criticisms or...
When they see themselves, they cuss. You know what I mean? When they see themselves, they cuss. Well, the reality, because I'm not the one telling them. I only guide the process.
So you let them express themselves?
Yes. I guide them through the process with the strategies that I use right? So there's physical and mental and emotional processes that we go through. So I advise people, don't try that. It's not that easy.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying because I'm not even, I'm not even trained in that regard. But based on experience and conversations, and I often try to direct people. I'm like, listen, I'm not licensed, but I just go based on experience and feeling and speaking to so many people, plus experience in it. I know what I would not like, and I've had one a lady came back to me about a couple months ago. And she was like, listen, I can laugh now and I feel like a fool. I call myself a fool and I can laugh. And because I look back and I'm like, what's going on with me? Like, I'm not that person. I grew up in a stable home. I grew up being self-aware, self-confident, and at least I thought I was. And I always said, no man can do me this and do me that. And then I found myself stuck in this situation, 5 years, 3 children. And I'm trying to find out, like, where did I go wrong? How did I get there? And now that she got out of the situation, she was like, she's looking back and she's like, she feels like every time she passes a mirror, she feels like slapping her own self, And is that part of the discovery and the acceptance?
Yes, yes. And it needs, that's where you see you still need to stay by the person's side because you take them to a path and you leave them and go, that's trouble. So she is now going through a stage of acceptance, but it's hard because it could throw her right back into depression and denial. Right? Because just
because
as she said,
also say I'm depressed.
There you go.
I feel depressed because the thought I accepted this for so long.
Yes.
When it's not like I didn't have other options because I have a good job. I show up every day with a smile on my face, and then I go home to like I'm a monster. It's a beauty in the day and a monster in the night. So I dread going home, and I'm sitting here now asking myself, why did I have to do that? Why did I stay for so long? Why do I feel like I'm a fool?
There you go, and that's where the another, as you call it, the other phase of mental peace kicks in. You have to create a plan with that person. How do I stay at peace out of this process? So you must design an action plan for the person. You have to work on one. It's hard, and that's the hardest part to do because, again, they will look at it and say, like, hell no, I can't do this. I ain't going to do this. So as I said to you, if the person doesn't accept, it's dangerous because you could see all the things, paint it, cleanse everything, and then go right back. So if you're guiding the person, it can't just be for today or for the moment. You have to be a journey until you say, okay, as the old people say, I win you off me now. Go forth. Because I'm sure you must have one of my clients or some of them right in this chat now watching as to, and they know the journey. For example, I had a client who they marked for mental institution. Mad. Declared mad. Say, send that one up. Not just one. I just quoting one. Send up. He mad, sir. No, I'm speaking patois now. Not mad. What mad? Not mad. Depression. It's so deep that the person lost.
We confuse the two. We don't understand the different stages of depression, and we often dumb. As soon as you start acting out of character, oh, you're mad.
Yeah, and it was nothing like that. A high level of depression. And when we use the program, we delve deep and we found the root of everything. Not just today. Go back all 18 years. 10 years of trauma, stress, and depression. And all the doctor could say, the person mad.
Because the thing is, we have a way of burying stuff, We have a way of, it's like in our brain, we compartmentalize stuff. We put, okay, things I don't want to remember, let me stick it at the back, and I'm going to keep pushing it at the back, and I'm going to keep adding more things just not to deal with it. But it's there, and sometimes that's what's responsible for a lot of our behaviors, a lot of the things we do the way we are. And, I can always say, unless you deal with it, unless you get to the root cause, no matter how much you could be like, put on makeup every day, no matter when you take it off, you still have to deal with your issue.
True.
So we have to get to a point where you have to be honest with yourself and want to make that change. We could sit and talk till the cows come home, but it starts with you really wanting it because you mentioned acknowledgement, you mentioned acceptance.
Action.
So the third step, we didn't touch on the third step. What happens now when it's when you get to the third stage after you have acknowledged and accepted and all of that? The third stage, what happens when you get to that point?
So when you get to act, you have to create that plan on your own. If you can't, then the person assisting you would guide you through the process. You don't tell the person what to do. You guide them through the process with questions. What do you do? What do you see? Because it has to be for the purpose and the value and the benefit of the person or the client. So you guide them through the process. This is what you discovered. You accepted this, right? Okay, so let's create the plan now. How are we dealing with that? Now that is tough because it requires you to take some actions that will may cause people to love you, hate you, not want to see you. You may win and lose.
And makes you uncomfortable as well.
And people start crying at that part. When you get to that phase, it's like tears, but it becomes tears of joy once you stick with them. So we stick with them to the end and realize, my goodness, that's where you find the peace at the end of that journey. You do it and then you ensure that there's a level of sustainability. So you follow up, you stick with the person. How you going to remember what we work on? All right, let's see how we doing. So you must design that plan. If you don't have a plan, then you spin in top in mode. You're going to right back down to phase one or stage one, which is acknowledging over and over and over and doubting, denial.
Morning, Senator Seville. Nice to see you in the group chat. Yeah, but in terms of people, and I've had situations where we did all that, and for somehow they found themselves back. Or because the person said that they changed. And I had to ask, I'm like, okay, is the person doing the work that you're doing? If they're not doing it, then there's no change. We're all actors here. I mean, this is Hollywood. This life is a stage that we're all acting on. And that person is going to say to you just what they think they want you to hear.
Amen.
And for you to believe. And that's what, before you know it, they're going to reel you back in and you realize, hey, the only person that changed was you. It's the same thing.
Yes.
And so how do you get to a point of really, really understanding, okay, this person has not changed because they have not done the work you have?
All right. Now, you know where that comes out? In acceptance. Because you cannot assess yourself and accept yourself alone. You have to assess the person or the perpetrator or the obstacles in your way. If you jump over that, then you're only looking for a conclusion. So you have to go back to acceptance and look at both yourself and your partner, the other things or the persons that are causing the trauma, the stress, or the depression. I say, if you jump over that, you're coming right back to what you just said. There's no escape. And when you get that picture, because it paints a picture, visual, and then you could voice it, and you could echo it and say it, put some reverb on it, and you hear your voice saying, this is me, this is my partner. This is what happens. This is what he does. This is what I do. This is what I don't like. This is what the person does. But when you finish, if you rip it up and you throw it away, what you just did, you throw away your plan. Because that's the beginning of your plan. The acceptance says, yes, I know where I am at, and I start building now. Yeah? I start building. But you mentioned the thing about the perpetrator comes back and say, I've changed. You can't accept that because the perpetrator, it would be you should advise the perpetrator to seek some form of therapy just the same. And I have clients who've come to me, both, in fact, the man came first and then the lady came after. There are some good men out there,
Yeah, we do. We do.
Because yes, some men are suffering too. Anyway.
That's why I said it's not just it's not just for women. There are men who are suffering in silence as well.
Yeah.
So we have to provide that safe space for men as well, because we
Yes.
know how it is when it comes to men. We use a different measuring stick. I know you're supposed to man up and you're supposed to think, and men and their egos. I ain't gonna go tell the police that my woman abusing me. Blah 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 blah. So we have to also provide that safe space.
Non-judgmental. So I don't judge, I don't accuse. Once you buy me, you could say anything, tell anything, because it's a safe space. And where you are, nobody really hears you. So that's freedom of speech and expression. You share what's on your mind, you cleanse everything. And then that's why I call stripping naked. We have a process called stripping naked, which means you let go everything. And then if it's a couple, then you have to do the same thing individually and then with the partner present. Now, as the recreational therapist, I didn't tell you I'm also an accredited recreational therapist. So
Can you tell me all what you do first, and then before we continue, so that I know what questions I can ask you? Tell me all what you do. Start over again. Let me start over again, so I know what questions I can ask you. Because you keep throwing all these. Okay, I am also this as well. So then, because I'm holding back certain questions, thinking that that does not apply to you. So tell me all what you do.
Okay, so recreational therapy.
Recreational
I designed
therapy.
the programs that would help these persons, and I could go to hospital, homes, you name it.
What is
Anyway.
recreational therapy?
So you're using the arts, the creative arts, as a means of developing programs to help persons, patients, clients to find that same piece I tell you about, to heal, come out of trauma and depression, all of these situations. So you could go to a home, a school, anywhere. And the workplace, even the workplace, you design it for personal development. All right? So it's out of that in its simplest form.
Okay.
Right? And
And
then,
then
no, but just live like the gender advocate, of course, you get the training so that you understand where we operate as UN women set standards, how you operate, even with the local you have operating procedures that it was developed and designed locally that a practitioner in this field should follow. We know all of that, right? And then I use the arts because I'm a musician, a singer, a dancer, all right? A trained actor. Trained, not just an actor. All
I
right?
know that one.
I'm right. I'm a drama educator, so I'm not just educator, but specialist, where I develop these programs, right, using the arts, right? These are some of the key areas that I use. I also have a doctorate in business management and administration.
We find time to live, do everything. You go on vacation. When's the last time you had a vacation?
In truth, boy, that's a good one.
When's the
Holiday.
last time you had a vacation?
No, but when I get holidays, people are helping. So do I really have a holiday? When I take holidays,
You also
it's
have to
just-
take care of your mental health and your peace.
Oh.
Your mental peace is also important
Yes,
because
that-
people
that.
who have a habit of helping other people forget themselves and they fill everybody else's cup, and what happens? You're depleted.
Oh,
So you also have to take care of yourself.
my training allows that. Yeah, that's what a lot of people do because you're so right. There are a lot of therapists, counselors who break down. I break down because you have to be trained in self-care. And I am also trained in protecting self.
That's a good way to branch off. Now, self-care. How does that help you in terms of making better choices and not getting stuck in relationship that involves abuse?
Great. You see, because everything starts with self, and people tend to forget that. I'm doing this for you. No, man. It must be for you first. I'm in this relationship because of you. Yeah, idiot. Oh, sorry. That's it.
No, listen, I like it like that. Let them be raw and frank with people. Not nice at all. I like that. You're idiots.
You know, it is you first. If you can't love yourself, then don't go loving people to please them or to create acceptance. So it starts with accepting who you are.
I always use this analogy like when you go on a plane. They are hostess when they're taking you through the safety procedures. They never tell you to put on the person sitting next to you life jacket. They say
Never.
make sure you put on yours first and then you can help the person next to you. They never tell you to help the person first.
Definitely. But in relationships, what they tell you, you must love me, put me. No, what happened to you? You're mad. It starts with you because if you don't love yourself, what you're giving out would be fake. And then you realize you're living a fake life.
I
for
need you all
such
to
a long
listen
time.
to this part.
You know,
You all need to listen to this part.
you're giving out this fake thing for such a long time that you feel empty inside. And you don't want to feel empty. So when you say, I am this, you know everything about yourself. So if they tell you you're stupid, say, I don't know that already. If they tell you you're ugly, you don't know that already. So what? Nobody should tell you anything that you're shocked about. So that's the first phase that a lot of persons are afraid to do. But you have to do that self-analysis or self-stripping so that you know everything about yourself. I mean, of course, others will tell you something, but you acknowledge it and you just say, thank you. Thank you. But that doesn't throw you off. Self-care means now, it starts with, who am I? What do I like? Simple things. I'll give you the simple part. What do I like? What makes me scream? And you have to be honest with yourself. What drives me crazy? And a lot of people are afraid to just deal with that. So you know everything about yourself that makes you hurt, cry, scream, feel pain, or feel sad. And then you treat it. What do? Now, let me say this. Never leave out the physical aspect of therapy. You feel it's the mind alone, you're going to mess up your mind if you're just doing physical, mental aspect of it. It has to have a combination. That's why we do mental peace, physical and mental.
So
Right,
what
psychological.
does the physical entail?
Oh, you better be able to manage your body because when I put you through a process,
Yeah, you can stretch and all sorts of things.
Oh yes. You have to be able to figure out the strengths and weaknesses of your body, not just your mind. So I give you a holistic approach to healing that you realize, my goodness, so I need to work on not just the mind. So when the mind is healed, the body at rest, or the body is healed, the mind is at rest. They go hand in hand. And that's where the self-care starts. So don't just go running, fix the mind too. Don't just go thinking, fix the body. And you combine both of them. Yeah?
So a lot of times emphasis is placed on just the
Psycho,
mental,
yeah.
the psycho part of it and not the physical part of it.
Yeah, with affirmations. That's the most dangerous thing. Just affirmations, it drive you crazy. Because I had 2 clients I was working with that. Just affirmations. Going off, going crazy. because you're hearing the voice of other people. Now, when your voice comes in, you doubt yourself because all you need is the voice of the pastor, that influencer, whatever the person is just saying on YouTube that you're playing over and over. And here's a dangerous part. You know what happens there, Anna? They run to gospel music.
Yes.
You're mad,
Yes.
dangerous, because this music has high frequencies and energies
I used to do that.
that delve into the emotions and it can send you further into depression. Yeah,
Because
you
you realize you're not being all what the songs are telling you to be.
Oh, you see? So you must get somebody to guide you through the process because all of these things are good. You need them when you're healed, not while you're breaking down. Because while you're breaking down, it's going to help you to connect to the emotions and take you down. It's going to take you down further. So you have to cleanse, drop everything, throw
And
them
I'm
out.
sure a lot of people can relate to that. The first thing you grabbed onto is gospel music. Or you start listening to T.D. Jakes or Joel Osteen or whatever the name is.
Dangerous. I'm
I
telling
never
you.
thought of that.
This is research I've done. It's not talk. I'm not talking here. Documented evidence. Documented right here in Grenada. I didn't have to go far. But I have clients from Jamaica, Antigua, St. Lucia. Only in Grenada I didn't get much acceptance. But it works.
Because I think the thing about it is, because when I was going through my own phase and I did my own little therapy, I did it with somebody outside of Grenada. And the reason I did it, I'm like, okay, this person don't know me. They don't know nothing about me. So they're just going to pay attention to me and block out anything else around. So I think that is the fear sometimes people have. Okay, I know this person or this person might know me. So, while that might have advantages, there are also disadvantages.
Cultural.
Because you might tend to, hold things back when you should be just really exposing yourself and, like you said, opening up yourself. Like you're having open heart surgery. Cut it open, deal with it, put it back. You sit and you sometimes, then there's this fear of, like the person said, going to the police and hearing about it. Because here I like it. We have a serious confidentiality issue on this rock. Serious. And I think that's one of the fear people have. Okay, if I speak to you, I don't want the whole marriage and parish to hear about it. Otherwise, I might as well make a Facebook status and put it out there. But if I'm coming to you in confidence, nobody else but me and you should know about this conversation. So sometimes I think it's the comfort and the fear of, and the confidentiality issue that makes a lot of people not want to deal with our own therapists and, whatever we have, but rather look outside for somebody who may not know them. Or there's also this fear of being judged.
Yes. Biggest. Right here, it's a lot of that. Confidentiality is like a crime now. Because you tell this one and you hear it from the next person. But we don't operate on that level. And as I say, over 200 persons helped. You could ask anyone. I could even get you a client if you want. Because that person would be willing to come and share their story. And that's out of voluntarism. Because they benefited, so they want to come and share. But confidentiality is the biggest issue. When you come to our session, as I say, what you say here must stay here. Because if you talk it, you are held accountable for what you share. We don't share anybody's work. And I've gone that far to design something digitally. All right? We've designed it digitally so that if you're afraid of being seen, I send this to you, and you work on it, and then we call and we chat through the process. And we've been doing a lot of that. So if you're afraid, you could type, you write, and then we take you through the process.
Listen, you got to come back again because we can't go through all of this in one session. I feel like I'm in therapy myself. So we're going to have to make you our in-house therapist. We can't go through this on one session. But before we go, the person wanting to be a part of what you do and looking for help, Mentor Peace, how can they find it? How can they find you to get the help they need?
Okay, great. So you could go to mentorpeace.org, mentorpeace.org, MENTAPEACE.org. Right there, just send me a message, and you could see what we do there. There are snippets of some of the work that we've put in, and you send me, or else you can contact me at 449-6306, 449-6306. And that says it all. You just text, WhatsApp, whatever it is, and I help you through your process. Remember, you don't even have to move some cases by just dealing with the situation. And it's not just for individuals, family, groups, you name it, workplace. It's not just about stress and depression, but it's finding a better...
It's not just about relationships, but,
yeah.
just wholesome living.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell us again
mentorpeace.org.
mentorpeace.org. So it's MENTAPEACE.org. Okay, so that's where we can find you. And your number again?
449-6306. And once you go there, you could text directly, WhatsApp, whatever it is. Yeah. Communication is immediate.
Right, and for those, there are some people just coming into the room, so quickly just remind them of what they can get help for, and not just um, domestic violence, but you also help in
Professional development, so it's workplace energy. You could change the energy and the behavior on the workplace. All right. So we look at stress, depression, trauma, suicide ideation. A lot of persons. We've even helped people with ADHD. Some people
Really?
who thought they couldn't really manage it, and we helped. Yes, a lot of that. So, but the key element is family, individual, groups. If you want to have a better bond, that too we can work on. So, all right. So it's individual, group, and we help you come away and move away from trauma, stress, depression, and that dangerous one, suicide ideation. A lot of people just feel like that's the end of it. No, there's an option. And if you want your workplace to be better, your staff, the energy, try mental peace.
because trust me, some workplace could be worse than your relationship, like a war zone. Thank God we don't have this here, but I'm saying there are people who say, listen, they dread going, they only go because they need that salary at the end of the month. But left of that, it's like a battlefield. So it's something that employers need to invest in. And it's something we've also done here. Our management has done that from time to time. You know, we have retreats and what have you, and have those sort of conversations, you know. So it really, 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 really helps to find peace in your workplace. Because I always tell people, listen, we've been here, this is almost 10 years, and nobody ever cussed each other out. Nothing, not a zilch here. Nobody. No fist fight, nobody getting into each other's face, nobody cursing each other off. It's a safe space. And, you know, it's important as well for your mental well being, you know, to have a safe work space. Not
Yes.
just home, but your workspace supposed to be a peace as well. And
Definitely.
unfortunately, a lot don't. So reach out to Frenchie, and of course, he'll be able to guide you. And remember, it's not just talking the talk, but it's also finding a safe place, and you will definitely find that at Mental Peace. All right, Frenchie, like I said, we had to do this again, so I'm going to be calling on you very soon. We have to do a follow-up. We can't do all of this in one show because there's so many different, you know, aspects to break down. I just wanted to give everybody a general synopsis today, but maybe we can find one at a one aspect of what you do to delve into and, you know, break it down further for those who really need the help.
Sure.
So I thank you so much for taking the opportunity, the time to be with us this morning, and looking forward to seeing you again soon.
Pleasure. Thank you.
You're so welcome. And that just about concludes our show this morning. Thank you so much. I am so appreciative of you guys in the chat. Happy that you learned a lot. Yes, somebody says today today give them some insight into who they are, and they're gonna spend the rest of the day, you know, looking into themselves. That's a good place to start. Yeah. So hope you guys have yourselves a great day, and I'll check in with you tomorrow, same time, same place. Thank you to our friends at Western Union for making our show possible. Have a good Monday, everybody. Thanks for checking in.